had to fill out that questionnaire for the dentist, and they were like, "Oh, drug use." So I was like, "Okay, I'll put down marijuana," and then like I couldn't find it on the list. It was all like hardcore stuff, and I was like, "Man, when's that one time that I smoked crack? I didn't smoke crack cocaine. That's right."
And with that, welcome to your face hole to the YouTube Monday/Tuesday. Amigos and Co. Legion Vapes. Chris Vandal doesn't use crack anymore, apparently. Welcome to to everybody out there and into Google's land. I am Breeze Tones, otherwise known as Adam, otherwise known as Hey You, that guy. I'm sure someone has also been called that guy before. Steve, how are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Been a fairly productive week so far. Finding things through, keeping things together, and it's getting a little bit chilly here. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird. The weather's, for the American viewers watching, we have weird seasons in this country, and yeah, we go through this little period of time. It's not spring as you would know it. It's literally, when someone sits and plays with the light switch on off on off on off. It's like that. It's like summer, winter, summer, winter, summer, winter. Yeah. Sometimes it goes about an hour.
Weather. East Coast, US weather.
Yeah. If everyone could just give us a potato or something in chat and make sure that everything is running sweet, that'd be great. And I think it's all good my end. But small disclaimer, as I said, potentially the internet has been a bit funny at my place because they're playing silly buggers and dangling carrots for me to increase my plan, because apparently that's what you're supposed to do with the yearly increase in KPIs and all that sort of bullshit. I'm not paying for it, so they're going to punish me for bad internet. But if everyone could just tell us if you could hear us and stuff, that'd be great. Chris, have I asked how you are, Chris? I haven't asked you before I run.
No, you haven't. You don't even love me anymore. My mom was right about you. I'm going to stay at my sister's.
All right, thanks for that. I'd like to welcome a few people in the chat. Birdman's here. Shannon Brown's here. Neil Pitts is here. Birdman's here. Ian's here. Hi, Ian. Who else is here? Connie's here. Hi, Connie. Owen's here. Shannon's here. Did I say Shannon? I did see a Kevin Bacon pop his head in there. Hello, Mr. Vapor Swaggins. We should talk about Vapor Swaggins. He's got some really good stuff going on in his life at the moment.
You finally dropped the OnlyFans?
He did finally drop the Only Swags. It's really expensive, but he is a top shelf mensch. Great Wombatsky's here from Adelaide. Mozzie's here. Ern's here. Yo Ern. I think that Mowgli's here. Mowgli. Always Mowgli is here. Stealthor is here. My monotone. Mono? No, it's in stereo. Or maybe that's my voice is in monotone. If I've missed anyone, I'm really sorry. You should put something in chat if you are lurking and watching.
Yes.
Yeah.
Never lurk. Always play a part. Even if it's just a wave for a moment.
In the words of Poon Sauce McNasty, you smell different when you're asleep. That's that's all I'm going to say there. Well, it's nice to hear that everyone's had a top shelf cooter. Indeed. I don't cooter. Yeah.
Is that your American voice?
I don't know what's a cooter.
You don't know by now.
Yeah. Oh man, who's gonna tell Albert he's adopted?
I'm pretty sure that's true. Yeah. Pretty sure that was true. Yeah. Ian, you should definitely get a Denali because of a certain person. Yep, because it's worth it. It's not a combustible tobacco product. It is a lower risk alternative, and adults like flavors. Hashtag I vape, I vote, all that sort of thing. 100%. I just wanted to quickly put a little shout out for this Sunday, the Aussie Vape Show. This weekend we have the very esteemed Mr. Colin Mendelsohn on. to give a bit of a update on the October 1 date for Australians. I'm sure, as we've said, discussed many times on that show, there is a lot of Australians who still don't know what's going on. So if you know people that know nothing about vaping and or are looking to find out information on what is changing or what's not changing, but what's being enforced, Colin Mendelsohn will be there to clarify as much as he knows this Sunday. So very big show. Steve, where can people send any questions that they may have for Mr. Colin?
If you've got any direct questions, of course, the best way to do it would be to save them for yourself and tune in and watch. However, if you are in part of the world where you can't do that, or you just want to let us take care of that stuff for you, you can drop a comment to me via Messenger through Facebook. You can drop it through Messenger on Instagram. You can find my email. It's out there everywhere, steve@legionvapes.com. Just drop me an email with that question, and we will try and collate all of those. I said that on Sunday, and I got no questions yet, so if you do have anything, feel free. Any of those avenues, I'm willing to put them all together for you.
Yeah. It should be a good show, and there's so much. I don't want to say the negative word, but there's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm just going to come out and say it that stay strong. We're all copping it from all angles at the present moment in time. We didn't pay for it. Which is a different story. I'm trying to make light of the situation, but lots of good people in our court who can give us the right information and at least put us on the right thing.
Ian saying that we'll be behaved, and absolutely, with Dr. Colin around, we are on our absolute best behavior for the night. But if you want to just chill and have some fun and no behavior necessary, you might want to tune into my channel on Thursday morning. I do my usual Have a Coffee with Legion Vape show. This week, we're retitling it. We're changing it. It's Have a Coffee with Legion Vapes and Grim Green. So that's going to be different, a little bit of fun. And I've had shows with him before where he's been on the panel, but I've never had a one-on-one show with just the two of us talking there. I'm going to do my usual thing of no preparation, no planning, no topics, no bumpers. We are just going to start talking and see where things go. So if you want to ask any questions, make sure you tune in, because that's what it's all about. It's interacting with the chat section.
Yeah, and zero planning, bagels.
It's zero planning. It's all about zero planning.
Indeed. This is, we do vape on this show, so maybe we should just do a little bit of that first before we start getting into the heavy stuff. It's the buffet. Yeah. I'm going to go first because dad vibes. I've only got a couple of things today. I have the Shift Plus by Hummingbird Modco, I think it's Hummingbird, but that has the Pioneer on there, which is kind of caught me by surprise. The Pioneer is outstanding MTL, and I'm very late to the game, but I've got a little bit of Sad Boy in action in that one. And I also have the Onigin R DNA 75 with GT. Why isn't that focusing? GT4S by Tafun on the top there, and that has Shakedown in it. And that's the only two VAPs that I have today. Just the two. Yep. I thought, I didn't want to pull out 45 vape buffet pieces when only use two of them.
One for the left testicle, one for the right.
That's a long story.
Yeah, that is. I realized that when I said it. Sorry. Let's move on. Who's next?
Chris. Yeah.
Caliburn, Anarchist Orange. That's it.
Yep.
Nice. Wow, you guys are putting all the pressure on me. I'm going to have to fill some time here. Bam.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing. Where'd it go? Oh, yeah. There it is. That's a beautiful device. The Thelema Quest version, the Aspire Kumo, not Como, Kumo RDTA. This has been a bit of a surprise. Really, really nice. I love RDTAs. I'm going to say it every single time I get a chance to play with one. I love the vape on an RDTA way more than a tank. Every single day, hands down, I think it is the best balance of all worlds. It's dripper experience, dripper flavor, but I don't have to drip all the time. And it's so much easier and better to work with than a tank. really want to see, and if you guys are watching, I know you're not, QP, please, just once, put your tanks aside for a moment. Give me a QP version of an RDTA. That would be awesome. But this stuff has this, which I picked up just recently. I grabbed a little sampler kit. This is a Japanese e-liquid that I knew nothing about.
Awesome.
It's called Jerk. Apparently, it's really, really big. It is. It's called Jerk.
No wonder you like it.
It's called it. Yeah, apparently it's a big brand in Japan. There you go. See, Jerk. But it's weird. The label is half. It's all Japanese and stuff. But if you look in closer, this was manufactured in New Zealand by an unnamed company that does a lot of business with Australia there. So I guess they've licensed it or whatever. But this is banoffee, and it's actually really, really quite nice. I've got a whole bunch of others, caramel and apple pie and stuff to try, but this has been very, very nice. As you can see, I've gone through quite a bit.
Yeah, I want to try Japanese e-liquid. I want to know more about their market. Like, seriously. Yeah.
There's an interesting element to this. Like, it's got a really clean taste, a really strong but subtle flavor. Like, if we can compare it to, say, things like the floss that I think we've all been trying recently, which is very, very punchy. It's nothing like that. It's a lot more subtle and refined, but it's not a complex blend either. It's very interesting. Been liking this quite a bit. Put that to the side. Another Thelema, the original, with the owl, which is basically the substitute version of the Zeus. This is from Advokin. It looks like a Zeus tank. It works like a Zeus tank. It takes Zeus coils or their version of Zeus coils. It's been actually really, really nice. And I got to remember what's in there. That's what's in there. Blackcurrant from Floss. Nice stuff. What are you guys laughing?
Nothing. I was just like, all right. I'll just taste it now.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't remember what it was. This one's actually nice. This is the, of course, the M100 from Geek Vape, the newer version of the Z tank. This is the Z Nano 2, I think it is. Find the boxes around there somewhere. Got a nice little shield around it, but it makes it difficult to see where your e-liquid is. But surprisingly, really, really nice vape on this one. And that's why I've been putting in that junk, because that junk, some good junk. I like that. Adam, I like your junk.
Thanks. You're not the first person to say that to me.
And still vaping this thing. The follow-up review for the R-Tank will be coming up this week. Actually, I say I'm vaping it. I'm half-hearted vaping it. I have not changed the coil since I did the first initial looks. So she's on her end of days. But I'm working my way down to see how bad I can make this before I do that second review. That's got a little bit of peppermint white chocolate mocha, Franken Atticus. It's good stuff. And finally, but not least, Purgex, the Ursa. Solid setup. Still vaping that musk in there because, damn, is that a nice juice.
Let's all take a moment to reflect while Steve vapes live on air of the juice that he's just describing.
Yeah.
Oh, with the fade in of the camera angle, what a profesh person Stephen Legion of Northern New South Wales is. Awesome.
I love it when he does the full screen vape because then I get to see all the spots on my screen and do white ball.
Indeed.
Isn't that a thing though? Especially when you're a photo or a video guy.
Yeah.
Like anyone else wouldn't give a shit. You just got shit on my screen. But for us, it's like, what the fuck is that?
When you spend like 3 hours trying to get rid of a mole on a chick's face and you're like, oh, that's on my screen. Yeah.
I've done that. You're trying to clone out little spots and it's like, it's not going. It's not. Move the picture over a little bit. Oh.
I may have done that for 10 minutes last night and then finally realized that was my virginal moment of like, oh, that's not on the photo.
Yeah.
I'm a professional.
Keep your screens clean, guys.
Yeah.
That's when you know you've made it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
or just to follow that up, when you spend like an hour cloning little bits of dust off a thing, and you're zoomed in really, really tight. And you're just like ultra working. You're in the zone. You got the music on. You're just having so much fun. I love cloning. I love cleaning it up. And then you pull back and you realize that all you've done is like a centimeter. You were so zoomed in and so working perfectly, no one would notice that dust anyway. It's just so far in there. It's like
Guilty.
I've got 17 more hours before I finish this.
Yeah.
Or I could just fuck it. I'll just put it up with one clean spot.
Or I've
Turn
got,
down the texture 5,000. There you go.
I gotta find that filter. Texture 5000. I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall we just dive into it, fellas? Lots of news this week, in the coming weeks, in the past weeks. There's no other way to describe it except beyond infuriating and humanely unfair. I think I'm going to lead into this. There was a fair bit of eye-opening information on Regulator Watch. On Brent's latest stream, particularly because it was with Amanda Wheeler, is that right? But also Dimmy and Phil. Dimitri also takes part in representing clients who have put their stuff in towards the PMTA, and obviously Amanda is also part of an organisation that has helped clients all over the US put in, and basically the story of the moving goalposts, the thing that we were talking about in the pre-show, Chris, of FDA taking money and then just deciding that they were going to give the same paragraph to everybody else to effectively not allow their products onto the market. And
so the big, if a lot of people, if you're not watching these vape advocacy shows or anything like that, a lot of people still don't know. All these people that have Vapor Advocate in their IG profiles or Facebook profiles, I haven't seen a peep out of anyone. And that's fair. A lot of people don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Basically, the FDA said, you do your due diligence, put in the time and effort, pay a shit ton of money, and you will put your stuff through the process. Basically, what they did was dry fuck you, excuse my language, and run off with your money. So what's going on right now in the United States is basically 94%, I think it's at now, of the PMTA submitted have been denied due to an MDO. An MDO, for those that don't know, because like most of the people here are consumers, marketing denial order. So what they did was you could have submitted the recipes, you could have did all this stuff, but the FDA is using this blanket ban basically, and I don't care how you feel about this. I know this. They killed the vaping industry with flavors and juices in the United States. I get it. Oh, we can fight it. Record. Good fucking luck. See how this has got you this far. And I get it. I'm going to be a downer tonight, and I'm going to say a lot of bad words, but this is the truth. They took your money and said, fuck you. And the reason why I know that this is it for flavors, this is it for e-juice, is because the only products that have been approved for PMTAs are from Big Tobacco. They approved they approved the heat sticks for Marlboro. They approved the IQOS system. They approved some other heat sticks, but they killed vaping as a whole unless you're Big Tobacco, because guess what? They classified those as cigarettes. If you go to the FDA website for the MDOs, I'll get that link here in a minute and put it in the chat for you guys. They're classifying it as cigarettes. Guess what? If you classify it as cigarettes, nothing's going to happen to you. They're not going to ban you. They're not going to get rid of you. They're not going to get rid of any of your stuff because of all the master settlement agreement money. That's why these are available to these. They're letting Big Tobacco products stay. So with the, sorry, I'm going to make a lot of circles here. The MDO is what they said is the reasoning behind the MDO denials, the MDO denial orders, is that they're saying that these companies aren't advertising in appropriate ways, so it could be enticing the children. Okay. Kids like colors, I guess you could say. Kids like fucking bananas, you could say. Kids like yogurt. Guess what flavor is in your vape? A banana, a yogurt, whatever the hell it is. Apparently only children can appreciate flavors, and so what they're doing is saying that the way that these brands have marketed, and this is coming from like I work for a big vape company, and I get some information from people I work with, and I get to see some stuff a little bit more firsthand in the industry side. I got shown this one company that got denied their MDO by an MDO, saying that they marketed it to children, and what their advertising was a plain bottle. It's not like I'm not talking shit about anyone here when I do these examples. It's not flashy. It's not colorful. It doesn't have graffiti. It doesn't have that. It's not that. This company that I'm not going to name had just the name of the company at the top, the name of the flavor, and then the FDA required warning. That's it. No, all their pictures for advertisings was a picture of the bottle in front of like a wood fence background. And like I'm not even talking like you gave it to like your vape influencer guy. This is like a CGI picture basically, and they said that no, that's marketing to kids. The easiest way that you can destroy this industry, which is what they did, is just to say that you gave it to kids, and they're saying that the marketing. This is the biggest bullshit part of it all. Your marketing could lead kids to get these, which could lead them to smoking. Ban fucking smoking if that's the point. Ban cigarettes if that's the point. That's not the point here. And we all know this. I know I'm yelling at you guys and saying exactly what we've all been saying forever and exactly what we know. But it's never been the fucking point. What they did is they took hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars from these small vapor companies, took all your recipes. Now they have all your recipes. You paid them to steal your property. You didn't have a choice. I'm not blaming any of the companies out there. I work for a company that submitted PMTAs. I'm not blaming anyone, but essentially the government turned to where you paid them. Now they have a database of every fucking flavor, every recipe you've ever had, and now you can't create it and you can't sell it in the United States. You can still create it if you're selling it overseas, as of my knowledge of it now. So some companies that have international distribution, things like that, they may be okay with this, depending on how heavy of a flow that they have of their products going out and the money coming in, blah, blah, blah. But what they basically did was mafia this to where now they have the database of everything you've created. They told you can't sell it. And then so now, like literally right now, some shops and companies, they're still selling products, right? It's now illegal to sell vape juice that was on any of the MBO lists, which is all of them, basically all of them that's applied for PMTAs. You see juice out there that's not on the PMTA list, it's just as illegal now as it is to buy the stuff they just put on this list.
Yeah.
They got rid, it's gone. I'm not being a Debbie Downer. Vaping is dead in the United States. So
in terms of dealing with that, workarounds, making sure that this because we know, look, history has shown us that prohibition doesn't work and that eventually things get shifted around. We know that the science is in our favor. That doesn't help us now, and we know that eventually things will turn around.
Yeah.
We know, fingers crossed. But in the meantime, for those that have already made that switch and don't want to fall back, workarounds are necessary. And I know that some companies are looking at, you mentioned it before the show.
You can do TFNs, tobacco-free nicotines. Yeah. It's a loophole, but it doesn't mean that hole won't be plugged eventually.
Yeah.
What about DIY? How is that going to be affected?
So the thing is, when you're buying flavors and stuff now, this affects that as well. The next point I wanted to get onto that, Shannon Brown says they can quit using, real quick, I just want to address Shannon. I want to address questions as they come, because if not, I'm going to forget them. Shannon says they can quit using nicotine and go synthetics, no longer considered a tobacco product. You're absolutely correct, but it's not only a matter of time until they go in, change some wording around, or say that, in the hindsight, we wouldn't have this kind of knowledge that this would be an available product nowadays. We need to get rid of it. I promise you, I'm promising you, everyone here, they're going to plug that loophole.
Yeah, there's no way that's going to be let stand. In fact, I'll go even further than you were with that. They don't have to go back and redo the work they've done and change the wording. They just need to publish one single amendment that says that synthetic nicotine is covered in all that previous stuff we did, and boom, that door is covered. And better believe it's only not in there now because they didn't think of it, and they've been alerted to it already. So
it's already on mainstream media pages that are following this whole thing. That I'm even seeing stuff about this on like Rolling Stones, like Rolling Stone, Wired magazine. I'm seeing this everywhere, and they're talking about the synthetic thing. Guess what? If reporters that don't vape know about this, now the government knows about it. They're going to find out. But yeah, so that's something that's going to come down the line. I promise you, they're not going to let it go by. They're not going to do all this work to get rid of you just to say, oh, damn, you got me again, Scooby-Doo and the gang. You know what I mean? It's not going to, that's not how it's going to go. But for the DIY thing, like you were saying before, from my perception, then again, like I said, I work for this big company. I'm not in every aspect of this, but from what I heard from some people that are in the know of this, is that now when you buy flavoring, you have to specify, at least in the United States, what you're using it for. You have to buy a flavor and specify what you're using it for. Say you want to buy like, you know, a bunch of like cheesecake flavor. Do you own a bakery or do you make candy? No. So what's your business thing? You have to specify that now. You have to tell them what you're buying it for, because they are liable for selling it to you.
They used to sell medications, prescription and over-the-counter medications that contain substances that if you were very crafty and very chemical, you could crush those pills up and you could do a little process and separate it. And now you've got the component for meth. And that was, you know, great for the meth heads. But they eventually put binders in there, little things that would really fuck you up if you try to get high with these products. It made them useless. It kind of makes me wonder if that's kind of somewhere that they're going to go with that. Like by law, all flavorings have to have this thing added, which is basically an oil, you know, which renders it useless for vaping.
And you'd have to find a way to separate it on your own on the other end, but then you probably wouldn't even be able to buy it in the first place unless you own like a confectionery or some shit like that.
It also makes me wonder how many people, we already have a bit of an issue of people who jump into vaping too fast, don't know enough, and start trying to make their own DIY juice with, you know, the cake flavors they get at the grocery store, which is, you know, a horrendous idea. Most of them are just deadly if you use them in that format.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder how many people over the next year in the States are
it's going to cause more problems than it's going to help.
Yeah.
It's going to cause way more problems than help. Shannon Brown says, even if you order flavors overseas, so the difference with the overseas things is you would be subjected to customs. If you're ordering something like that from customs, they're going to open that because it's a giant bottle of liquid, whether it's water bottle sized or bigger. You're going to have to find a way that justify that you need that from overseas. A lot of places like FedEx and stuff like that have already done the ban, saying like, you know, no, nothing that has to do with vaping whatsoever. FedEx is one of the biggest importers, one of the biggest shippers from overseas stuff. It's going to be real murky water. It's like I was telling you guys before, if you're in Australia, you order stuff, you're playing with the luck of the draw. If you order stuff from overseas and say they seize it, you're not going to get a ticket. You're not going to get like, you know, your house repossessed or anything like that, but you're not going to get your product. You're not going to get your product. Yeah. They're going to keep it. They're going to confiscate.
Well, the company that I use right now in New Zealand has, they used to use DHL, and that was we had two options. You had DHL and New Zealand Post, and they've dropped DHL completely since the American ban, just because it's just not worth them taking the risk.
Yeah.
And everything is shipped through New Zealand Post, which is quite a bit slower, but at least it gets here.
I have a question about, I guess, like, you know, because that was a few days ago, like when the deadline was, you know, and this is a rhetorical question that maybe, you know, some people in chat could even say that if they have a local brick and mortar nearby them, or, you know, work at one, or no, you know, like people are just opening their doors as per normal and waiting for enforcement to happen. Is that the grand situation?
Yes, right now you're just waiting for them to come check out what you're doing. If you own a manufacturing business with a vaping, or if you own a shop or a distribution location, you're just waiting for them to come in and see what the fuck you're doing and whether they're going to close you down.
Yeah.
If you're violating any laws, or if you don't have your P's and Q's in line, if you don't have the right signage up stating where your products are going, stating that your products aren't intended for sale in the United States. There's a lot to this. This successfully, it has shut down. It will shut down thousands of businesses. If you have vape shops, just vape shops that don't, I mean, like some of them sell bongs and shit, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But their main revenue is vape. They're going to have to switch to a head shop. They're going to have to start selling cigarettes if they want to survive. They're going to have to start selling cigar wraps. They're going to have to start selling fucking Kratom, I guess, you know, whatever the smoke shops sell to get by. This eventually has essentially done that. It stopped you from being able to legally have, if you have them in your store, vape products at this time, and you're not an international person and you have these products that are on this MDO list, that's how they're shutting you down. You're not supposed to display them. You're not supposed to sell them. As of right now, there's no word specifically on whether you destroy the product or you surrender the product no one knows anything right now with that as far as enforcement goes. No one knows.
Yeah.
And like, there's nothing going on.
Ern is saying there, we know that Ern has taken a position in a vape store. He's saying that's what the shop I'm working at is doing, waiting for a notification that we have to stop. We work very closely with the nicotine and flavor company. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're waiting down. You're waiting until they come in and they basically put the lock on your door. Vape components and stuff like that. It's different. I mean, it's the vape mail ban is still in effect, which means you can't buy mods and stuff like that. Technically, from like unless you're business to business and all that stuff, like we've talked about before. But vape mods hardware, they didn't even go after that because this right here, what's the point of having a hardware if you can't get the product to put in it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a heavy situation. And I think that was the other thing that a few people have been talking about. Probably Grim on his last stream, or the I can't remember what stream it was, but he was talking about effectively if you never registered your product back in the date, and you're flying under the radar, like those are the only organizations / companies that are not. They're under the radar and they've never notified anyone about anything, so they're not even on the radar of what's going on at the moment. So
I promise you, if these companies are using social media, and I can name 3 off the top of my head, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not here to expose anyone, but there's 3 names that everyone here knows that are still creating products without even submitting a PMTA. That's even worse. That's even worse because what they're going to do is seize your personal property if you have fines. They're going to seize your car. They're going to take your house. They're going to do all this stuff because not only did you not follow the law, but you willfully did not abide by the law.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, I don't think anyone here that is going to need this advice, but here's my advice to you. Stop fucking advertising where you're selling your products online right fucking now on Instagram. Stop advertising on Facebook. If you're still selling products, stop fucking advertising right now. All you're doing is asking for attention to yourself. I'm not here to advocate for you to break the law, but if you're going to break the law, don't be a dumbass. Stop posting on your Instagram stories. Oh, new drop, blah, 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 my website. New juice, my website. Guess what you're doing? You're opening the door for them to build a case against you to like do this. And if like some of these people are really big names, there's no fucking way that you don't know what's going on. You can't say, "Well, I had no clue." Yes, you did. Yes, you fucking did. That one advocacy post you shared showed that you knew what was going on and you willfully broke the law and did that. I get it. Some of us are punk rock. Yeah, we're super cool. Or some of us like, fuck the man, blah, blah. Oh, they'll get me. Oh, they'll never get me. They're going to fucking get you. This is how this works. It's just like a crime TV show. They build a case. They don't get you for the one bottle that you sold that you weren't supposed to because guess what? That's not a serious offense. That's a slap on the wrist. You know what they're going to get you? For selling your products for the last 6 months without being PMTA certified. And then for selling your products for the 6 more months after the PMTA rules came down and the MDOs hit everyone. I get it. We're all tard asses and stuff like this. But I implore you. I am imploring anyone out there watching. Protect your future. Protect your property. And if you're going to skirt the law, you're not going to skirt the law. If you're going to break the law, don't be a fucking idiot and do it like in everyone's faces. Don't do that.
It's unfortunate, but I tend to 120% agree with you. It's pretty out in the open there. I mean, that's just Instagram alone, like the Facebook world and that whole situation. I mean, it's different in every region and what's going on there, but it's surprising how open it is.
Yeah. It's not even a secret anymore. It's not like, a thing. I know like when the PMTA things hit and the vape mail bans hit, people were creating Discords or they're creating Patreons and stuff like, oh yeah, this will be like, the secret way to get it. Whatever the fuck you're doing, if you got a MySpace group even, who knows what you're using, whatever you're using. And then people are being kind of smart about breaking the law by just doing it in that. And then now they're posting on their stories, oh, if you need juice, hit up my group, hit up this, do this, call me, email me, contact me. You're giving them ammunition. Anytime that this has happened, so we've seen stuff happen before with like some of these big name companies, and I'm not going to name drop anyone. I'll just make one up right now. Jellyfish juice or whatever, right? They're fucking making all these products and doing this shit. And then what they're doing is they fucking went secretive and they kept it quiet for a minute, and then they're coming out and they fucking You know, they're posting on their Instagram stories and all this shit. But these companies that got hit before, what they did was, and because I hear about this stuff all the time, there'll be companies out there, right? They sell products. They're a legit company. They're a legal company. The people that are pursuing them, whether it's like law people from the state or like a county, wherever it's from, or a different state even, or a different region, what they do is like they're fucking smart about this. They create a whole fake Facebook profile, a whole fake Instagram profile. And you don't know if this guy's a cop or not. You don't know this because guess what they do? They can even post pictures of themselves and you wouldn't know nothing about it because you can be like, oh, this person's trying to follow me, right? My page is private. I'm trying to see, make sure, you know, I'm keeping everything above level. I'm not going to add any cops. You think they're going to come up straight up with the cop sunglasses and a fucking police shirt? No, you're seeing them wear their fucking Dickies t-shirt or their button-ups or whatever and their profile pictures. And like, oh, this guy's got a motorcycle. He has to be cool. Or this guy's got a mohawk. He has to be cool. He's supposed to look like that so you feel comfortable enough to fucking give him all the information. And then what they do is they do that continuously. This has happened with big companies before. They'll start out communication-wise, reach out, follow your Instagram, your social medias, your Facebook, your business pages, right? 2 months later, they try to order a product with a bad ID. You have an age verifier on your website? Okay, cool, they didn't get through. Oh, that sucks, but good for you, right? And then after that, they somehow find a way to spoof it because there's very easy ways to spoof the age verifiers with the IDs. You could just use somebody else's. You can type in a random driver's license number and hope it works. They find a way to get past your age blocker. Then once they get past your age blocker in your website, they buy a product. They buy one thing, a bag of cotton, just to test it. Boom, the cottons get shipped. Let's just say it goes out to like fucking Vermont, right? These people are in Vermont, the people that are trying to get you. And then they buy another thing from you, and another thing from you, and another thing from you. And you thought, oh, I'm fine. My age verifier stops all that. Guess what? You still have to do your due diligence on your business and to make sure you're not selling to the people that it shouldn't be going to. That's just the gateway. And then what happens is 9 months later, after they bought over $100 worth of product from you, they serve you with a lawsuit. This has happened. This is happening. This happens. So if you're running these Patreons, you're running these shops still, you're running these websites still. If it were me, say I had Chris Vandal Liquids and I had this fucking website and I had this stuff, I would not pick up one new customer. It sucks. But guess what? If you had a friend that, oh yeah, my friend buys from you all the time. This is my friend. Cool. Have your friend that's been buying from you for the past 6 years buy your product and you give him the money. Do not bring in new people to your websites or your secret groups and all this shit because guess what? That's where they're coming in and they're attacking you. And again, I'm not advocating for you to break the law, but goddamn, use some common fucking sense.
Essentially, what you're saying is America is looking at massive black market. Everything moving underground, everything being secretive, somewhat speakeasy style. I know Grim put up a joke comment earlier on Twitter, but basically alluded to speakeasy style. But that's what we're looking at. And the problem with that is that profit becomes much more like potentially larger. And the more there's room for profit, the more there is room for what's that phrase? Something players. Bad players.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
you're opening the door to opportunity to bite you in the ass.
Yeah, I mean we know that you know people were drinking and we're fine, and people were getting too drunk occasionally, but it was fine. It was just general world alcoholism, and then we had prohibition, and the next thing you know, people are getting blinded by the bathtub gin and all sorts of weird shit was going on there. And then of course you have big crime, they're breaking people's knees for money and stuff. We're looking at somewhat similar sort of thing happening here.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not the crime knee breaking thing, but you know, we've all seen pictures of bathtub juice. There's always at least one company out there that's really not to be trusted in their methods. But yeah, I could definitely see if you can't have manufacturing facilities, if you can't have proper clean rooms, if you can't be out in the open and legit about what you're doing.
It opens up
into a warehouse somewhere, keeping it clean. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just e-liquid.
Have you seen where I make my coils? Yeah. I'm joking.
But yeah, and what infuriates me the most about all this, though, is that the FDA itself, the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, which used Juul. Don't get me wrong. Have they done things right? No. Yeah, and they are the whole reason for this. Juul is the whole reason for this. If you go by what the government is telling you, what the United States government is saying is the problem, that kids are getting their hands on Juuls. Kids are getting their hands on Juuls. I've been to hearings. You've never seen a goddamn mob. You've never seen a goddamn RDA in this little confiscation badge. It's Juuls and weed cartridges. But good luck telling them it's weed. Long story short, this is what pisses me off the most about this. The reason why all this is happening is because of Juul, and the FDA now is fighting for Juul to have more time to make their product better and provide a better stance so that Juul can stay on the market. They're not even going to get rid of Juul, it looks like, at this point. They're going to find a way to say, well, they paid their dues and they learned their lessons and they're keeping Juuls on the fucking market, guys. Like, their whole reason, the whole fucking reason for all of this, for all the bands, for all the flavors, for kids in schools and all this bullshit that they've put out, and they're going to leave it on the market. Like I said, you got fucked in the ass. The whole industry got booty bumped. And now, the whole reason why you're getting raped for these fees, and then your jobs and your businesses are shutting down, the whole reason why is going to still be on the market. I'm done. I'm fucking over it. Vape advocacy is dead. I'm not saying I'm gonna stop spilling information, but I've always been optimistic about this. Don't get me wrong, it's got me down, but it's a game over. It's a game over. The only reason.
Can I just jump in for a second? I totally, because you're right in the industry. This is your livelihood. This is your friends. This is people that you know personally, and I understand. Trust me, I totally understand the depression and anger combined. We need a word for that. Probably a German word that exists for combining anger, rage, and depression.
Anxiety.
Yeah, I understand where you're at with that. But let's just step aside for a second and say, I think especially those of us a little bit older, we completely remember 40 years of nonstop war against drugs, prohibition against pot. It was.
I will rephrase what I'm saying. Our generation knows it, vaping is dead.
Yeah, things are going to get bad, absolutely. But I just want to give that ray of sunshine at the end, and that reason to continue fighting. They fought the fight. They continued to do the research. They pushed. They demonstrated. They continued for decades. It took decades and decades to get through this, and they're not through yet. It's still in a birth. It's an
infant stage. It's infant stage, and I understand that. But like I worded it wrong. You're absolutely right. As this generation knows it, legal vaping of the products that you enjoy is gone. I'm not saying I'm giving up on advocacy. I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop sharing the right information. I'm gonna stop doing that. But goddamn, if I'm ever gonna go on a goddamn IG page and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, great post. Yeah, mail this shit in." Blah blah blah. The only way that this would have so that we can make any kind of dent on this, only way we can have a dent on this is if every single person in the industry, and this is taking a risk, said, "No, fuck you. We're not going to do this, and we're going to continue to sell." But it would take everybody. It would take everybody. And I gotta tell you, I understand why not everyone would do this, because you're putting like I said, your livelihood at risk. You try to fight it. Guess what? It's like you go to just a really bad analogy. Someone's holding a gun, right? And there's a group of 30 people in front of them, but there's only one gun. Which one of you are going to take the risk to rush him while everyone else can overpower that person? That's what's happening right now. They're holding the gun to it, and everyone will need to come at them. It's not going to happen, though. It's not going to happen. There's too much on the table for this. There's families out there that were barely making it that had these companies, and now they're going to run the risk again of they've lost everything already, business-wise. Are they really willing to risk to lose their houses, their cars, their property? Are they they broke it? You're broken. You're down. You're hurt, and why would you fight it if not everyone's going to come together and do it? Not everyone's going to come. Unfortunately, I'm just saying now, I don't think that's going to happen. You're not going to see Jam Monster leading the fucking trenches, you know what I mean? Doing this shit. They're not going to see that. These people are going to find something. These big companies, they're just going to move on to CBD. They're going to move on to face scrubs or whatever the fuck it is. And I'm not talking shit about that. You own a business, that's the point, is to make money. Cool, I get that. But unless everyone came together all at fucking once and it was like, no, we're going to continue doing this because it would be too hard to go in and stop everyone all at once. But in some things we're a hive mind. The vape community, the vape industry, we're a hive mind. A lot of the same things, a lot of the same shit we say, a lot of the same things we think. But when it comes down to personal accountability and how it will affect you and what goes on around you, it becomes a very distant place.
I keep. I have to say, all of this leaves me fairly. I don't have much to say because I don't know what to say and where to go. But I keep opening Twitter to find a post of something, in the last few days to a glimmer of hope. And I know it's coming. I'm waiting to see which angle that's coming from. Or I mean, there's other things as well. The postal situation that it's kind of a little bit still ongoing. There's still the cannabis industry. They've got their own things going on as well as far as lobbying. I'm just hoping that it comes from a left field source of something that will come down. And I mean, we still have a bunch of things going on internationally as well. So there'll be that point, I guess, when the US.
It'll come back around, but it's going to be a while. It's going to be a long time. It's going
to be a long time. But if you are looking for a positive note, and this is not an American positive note, I'm sorry, I have no positive news coming from the States. But Senator Holly Hughes posted on Twitter just about the time that we started this show. Senator Holly Hughes is an Australian senator who chaired the Senate inquiry into nicotine a little under a year ago. She just posted that today marks her 1 year since she's had a cigarette. She quit unintentionally after trying vaping. It's a fantastic cessation tool. The thought of a cigarette makes her ill, and she could smell the foul smell a mile off. Then she says, I renewed my nicotine prescription last week and purchased my pods via a chemist in Bondi, which is in Australia, so she's bought here. We will provide information on my website over the next week or so how you can quit using vaping. And then she thanks Colin Mendelson for making it so easy.
There you go.
This is someone in Parliament, an elected politician, a career politician, who accidentally quit. She literally had an interview with Colin to understand how vaping works because the inquiry was coming up and she was curious. And
that's a politician doing their job.
Yeah, and she accidentally quit. And she's been in Parliament. She's been one of our staunchest advocates for the last year, and obviously continues to be. And she will, every year that she doesn't smoke, that will be a year more that she is on our side, which is one down. I don't know how many senators are in this country, but that's one down.
Yeah,
we'll work on the rest. If we can do it here, you guys can do it there. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
it's a long fight. It's got dark days ahead, no doubt about it. It'll get post-apocalyptic. It'll get horrible. There'll be big crime and bathtub juice everywhere, but you guys will get through it. I have faith in you.
I also saw something positive, which is still Australian-based as well, but a very unusual situation of the Sydney Morning Herald article that was going on about John Safran's puff piece. And the reporter, or the journalist, I should say, who wrote the piece is a vapor themselves and admitted it in the article. I thought that was a very rare occurrence. Sydney Morning Herald has also posted plenty of propaganda in the past, and I was a little bit, strange, a bit confused because they were, out and talking about PMI as the big baddie, which obviously it is in many sorts of the thing, but it was a very strange situation to read, in a positive light. So yeah.
I think it's going as far as things can go, all things considered. It seems like what Australia's doing is they're treating it like marijuana, like we did here in the States, do the prescription thing, right? And I think the best part about it is that it's the best and worst part. The government is watching every aspect of this now from you guys. You guys have no privacy in this, what you're doing when your privacy of your own homes with your vape products. But what this is going to show is that the people that do follow the rules, you have to follow the rules for your stuff, right? There are going to be people that break the rules. Yeah, okay, there might be few and far between. But this is the best way for your government to see the statistics behind it. Because what's going to go on is they're going to have all the prescriptions, right? So they know that you need this nicotine. They know that you want this juice, that you need this stuff, right? And they're going to prescribe it to you. And then they're going to see all these people using it. They're going to see the health benefits of the fact that none of these people that have done it have gone in for things like lung cancer or a chronic cough. They're not going to have problems like that. And it's going to open their eyes to it. And that's exactly what they did here with marijuana, because it was for a lot of states was strictly medical first, which is almost the same exact system you guys have, except for the fact that to get products, you have to go to a certain store.
Yeah.
This brings the facts straight to them. It shows them directly the effects, the positives. This is going to show them like this, keeping you guys off of fucking debilitating health stuff. The reason why this is so good in the UK is because the UK is socialized healthcare. And like, again, I don't know all the intricacies, but I assume you guys have the same kind of thing, right? Socialized healthcare over there in Australia.
Yeah.
Which means that when these start showing positive notes like it has been, they're going to do, I'm hoping that this is going to happen with you guys. They're going to be like, damn, this is working great, like the UK did, right? Because guess what? The more people that are healthy on socialized healthcare, the less money the government spends. Because it's less time. You don't have to cut out someone's lung and replace it with a fucking bag that's artificial. You don't have to cut out someone's heart for heart disease from smoking. You don't have to do any of this. And it's going to save that much more money. You guys, if there is a right fucking path besides just letting people do what they want in the privacy of their own time, you guys are doing it right.
Yeah. And there's more people
The
to
government's
tax.
involved. Yeah, the government's involved in a certain aspect, and they're getting all the direct information. Sorry, I didn't cut you off.
No, 100%. I was just going to make a bad joke of there's more people to take tax from, more healthy people, so they'll make their money somehow. The house always wins. Yeah.
In reference to as you were talking about in the chat, laws that are outdated, etc., and also the whole idea that just like prohibition, time passes and we gradually learn better, and that things eventually change, even though some of the laws may still be on the books. If we got any Texans in the chat, this may be of interest to you. In 1973, the Texas government, what do you call it?
It's a Texas,
Texas court passed a law. It's an obscenity law, and it makes it illegal to own 6 or more dildos. You can have 5, that's fine. 4, that's good, but you cannot have 6 or more.
Right.
Why? Who came up with the number 6?
Yeah.
That was a politically motivated law for some guy that was approved, and he would probably had 12 at his house, and he said, "Oh, we got to ban this because I hate it." But in reality, I fucking love them. You know what I mean? That's usually how it goes.
I have 7 cucumbers in my fridge right at this very moment. And
Ooh, that's pushing it.
911, hello.
Edible dildos.
Edibos.
yeah.
No. Yeah. So I get it. It's dark and gloomy. I'm kind of negative on this. This is literally rock bottom, so the only way to go is up. I mean, that's my silver lining to it. But what kind of bugs me the most about this, and I get it. If you want the freedom to vape whatever you want, you should have the freedom to do whatever you want, and I get that, like within reason. But either no one knows about it in the U.S. or no one cares, and I'm getting so sick of like these people calling themselves advocates and doing these things. And they're not even in the know of this stuff. I get it. It's a little bit easier for me. I work in industry, so of course this stuff hits my desk, like, as soon as I walk in every fucking day. But it's gonna this is where your real advocacy kicks in, because guess what? They're not gonna ban vaping from you to own the products. They're not gonna ban. They didn't even so this is the thing. They haven't banned you from owning vaping products. They haven't banned you from having vape juice. They've banned you from being able to attain it. You can walk down the street. And
this is why I asked before about DIY, because none of this seems to touch on the concept of possession. It's perfectly fine for you to have peach mango in 3 milligrams. That's fine. You can have gallons of it. You don't need a prescription, so you can have as much as you want. It's illegal for you to manufacture it for sale. It's illegal for you to sell it, but you can have it. So theoretically, that's where again, it's where the black market starts to build up, but you can DIY.
Yes.
If you can get your hands on stuff.
If you can get your hands on it. And this is exactly what made marijuana as good as it is right now, because guess what? All the people that you get these strain, just as a quick reference, you see all these, I remember back when I was younger, right? And I was a kid that broke the rules no matter what no one told me. Smoking dirt, Mexican weed is what it's called in high school, right? I'm talking about stuff that looks like potpourri from your Aunt Tilda's house or whatever, and it smells like fucking lavender, and you had all that, and you roll it up in your little clear joint wrap, you'd smoke it. But guess what? You know why? The reason you have all these fucking great strains now and all these great like edibles and dabs and stuff like that. That's all DIY marijuana. Guess what? You guys are you good DIYs out there. This is your chance to reform the whole fucking vape industry. This is your chance to reform flavors. This is your chance to make things better than they are and be the best that they will be. Because when it comes back around, like we're talking about, it's gonna eventually. It's going to be a while. When it comes back around, you are going to be the subject matter experts. You're going to be the ones that these companies, when this stuff becomes, legal-ish again, or however we go from here again, you're going to be the experts on this. This is opening your door for opportunity. So I know there's some DIYers in the chat and stuff like that. This is your chance to fucking shine. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not telling you to break the rules, but hone your goddamn craft. Do whatever you want. They don't tell me about it. And eventually you're going to be the expert so that when this comes back around, you're going to be the old guy that starts the business and like whatever, and runs everything and has all that knowledge that's going to help the future generations coming in that realize that this is a good cessation tool, and you're going to be able to help that shit shine, and you might make yourself a fortune, make yourself proud, whatever you want out of life, you're going to be able to get it. But this is it. This is the time. It's like you go like underground. Everyone had an older brother, friend that had the really greatest weed. It's gonna be that with vape juice now. And I don't mean to say like older brother as in a child, but you have older brothers at any age you are if you have siblings, and you're gonna be that guy that knows this stuff. You're gonna be the ones that create the stuff to make it better. You're gonna be the ones that create it safely. Are there going to be more vitamin E acetate and shit like that? Oh yeah, that's going to skyrocket right now, because guess what? All the people that sell you weed on Instagram, that's bougie shit, knockoff shit, guess where they're going now? The next black market. And they're going to do that. So if you're going to break the law, or you're going to break the rules, and you're going to go get your stuff from someone, don't get it from someone that you don't know. It's just like you would say, you're going to go buy something illicit. You don't pick it up from the guy standing on the corner that you've never met before. If you're going to go buy something illicit, make sure you're buying from the DIY people that you can trust, people that are you're not certified, but you know what I mean, as in certified on the product that they're creating. Because there's going to be a black market. There's no way around it. Yeah. There's absolutely.
It's already happening. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to be out there. So if you're doing that and you're going to go buy those things, be smart about it. Be smart about it, because you could be vaping the vitamin E oil and all that stuff. That which was one of the reasons this happened.
Yeah. Indeed.
And those tricks will come back.
Yeah. It's a really, really heavy episode. I kind of took your piece there, Vandal, and ran with it. Sometimes we have to talk about the heavy stuff to help confront what we need to do. Get the people involved, get them outside of the bubble that we're in. Somehow, somewhere, some way, we're going to overcome this. And it's not just, those folks in the US, worldwide, we all stand with you, because we all want everybody to succeed and have access to these products and, effectively get off combustible tobaccos and find a lower risk alternative. It's been a really heavy show. Thank you so much, Chris, for your insight, because, it touches very close to home. And I'm sure, like many other people who work in the industry or, firsthand, turning up to this every every day is mentally draining. And, of course, there's more, obviously, at stake as well. It's a hard one to go from here. We're not going to let it up, though. And big love to you, Vandal. Big love to you, Legion. Big love to everybody in the chat who has been here and had to partake in the hardcore talk. We have come to time, gentlemen. Would you like to close off with anything else before we move on?
Steve gave his outro in the intro.
He did. He did, didn't he?
I did.
He did. A small reminder of Sunday on the Aussie Vape Show for those outside of the international scope, in the Australian national scope. The information there is a must-see information. Must-see episode is what I mean to say, excuse me. So Colin Mendelsohn, the great Colin Mendelsohn, will be there to dispel and help communicate all of the things that we need to know. the good thing is that Colin has a good international insight as well. He's, perhaps he's got something to say about, what's happening in the US as well, that maybe, experience is one of those things that can help anyone everywhere, so, yeah, that's what I'm just rabbiting on now, fellas. Yeah.
Friday, we will be back. I think we're taking next week off, but it's the 1 year anniversary of Anthony joining the show and making it better, because I'll be honest, he does all the work now. It's kind of nice. I just show up like a distant house husband. But 1 year anniversary of Anthony being on the show, so we're gonna have a little.
Are you guys gonna have cake?
Nah, not the kind you want to eat.
Toilet cake.
With
The candle.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have a little I'm gonna go through this week, and I'm finding the top 10 moments of my favorite Anthony spots, and he's finding his top moments of mine and stupid shit. We're gonna play it on the show.
Nice.
Just have a little bit of fun, Other than that, I think we'll take next week off, but I'll give everyone info on that. Also, you're beautiful people. I love you being here. It's not often I get to yell at people and you guys enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because usually it ends the other way. So thank you.
Yeah. The rant is good. Sometimes very much needed. An emotional outpour. Steve.
Me?
Yes. You.
Yes. Me. What?
Okay.
Who?
Thanks.
Me?
Steve gave you stuff in the intro. Yep.
Yeah. Tune in. Grim Green on Thursday. Call in on Sunday. Other stuff in the meantime. Usual bullshit for me.
Yep. Awesome. Do not forget how much we love you all. And it's just something that you've got to remember. And we're here for you, with you. Some of you were against you, but no, I'm joking. That's not totally true. Thank you very much for being here on the YouTubes. We will see you next week. We will bring some vibes and some laughs back. But we have to confront this stuff because it's got to be done. Steve's gone to dark mode, so we'll see you. That would be me because I'm running the thing. We will see you next week. Big love, everybody.
Sleeping.